Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight we are going to look at Lombok extension method, which is one of the experimental annotations that we can use from Lombok. This means that we can actually add methods to existing stuff, so existing classes, for instance. So the trick is, if you're using Kotlin, then you can overload whatever with any methods at all, and you're used to this feature. But in Java, you cannot per default do that. Of course, you can write the Java code yourself and actually also create some kind of extension, some kind of extension. But right now, let us try to look at this one extension method right here. So what we're going to do is, this is an example from Lombok's webpage right here. So we need to use the add extension method. Then we need to say what kind of class is it that we want to extend, and then we want to say which class should actually should be the result right there. So okay, this is actually where we test it. Let us just check that. This is the extension method example right here, and we are testing it right there. We're calling all. And then we say string and then to title case right here. So this is actually where we call to title case. That means that the H will be uppercase, and then this should be lowercase, I guess. And here we have the code. So the code is actually in this is the class that we actually mentioned right here. This is actually where we are placing our code, and this is actually what we want to extend. Yes. So let us try to create our own extension. I want to extend the date time so it actually can show the Danish format. So I just write Danish format, and then it will actually show the most used Danish format actually instead of the official one. So let us just copy this one right here. This means that we actually have to extend. We have to add extension method on top of the method where we actually want to use it. So that means that we will do that in the test itself. So let us just go to this class right here. So here I have this is my weather forecast controller. I've created this project. This is a Spring Boot project. I've created this by pressing File, New Project, Spring Initializer, Java 17, Next. Then I added Lombok, and I added the web module also, and then I press Create, and I ended up with this project right here. So right now I have some endpoints right here, and this I have one for today. I have a weather forecast for today, and then I have a weather forecast for tomorrow. Tomorrow, like this. And here I want to say sunny, and then I want to add the date time. So I actually what I actually want to do is I want to say date time dot now. Local datetime.now, this is the one I want, and then I want to say dot formats, and then I want to have this formatted with the date time formatter dot of pattern. Then I want to use a pattern that is like year, month, day, and then maybe some hours, and then the minute, like this. And the seconds. So this is So this is what I want, right? And then I want to create a unit test for that. So this is what I want to. But I want this as a method instead of just having. This is a very long string, right? So I want to actually extend the local date time with actually that. So I'll create my unit tests right here, and I just do that by pressing Control Enter after placing the cursor after the class name. And I get this test right here for free. And actually I do not need to have the Spring context or anything. Actually I want to avoid that right now. That's why I'm creating a new forecast controller like this, and then I say today, and then we would then we'll just print this one out. So we get this as a variable right here. That is a forecast, and then we system out that print line. It's okay. We can always create an assertion later on. We should always have assertions in our test. Let us just start with the C that actually works. So yes. So then we would actually go to the forecast controller, and now we want to say that we want to use that extension. We want to use that extension, and we have the code right here. That's good. So we can just copy and paste this one right here. Extension method. Copy. And So here it is experimental. Experimental means that Lombok might remove it in a later release. That's the only thing. Experimental means it does not mean that it doesn't work or anything like that. It's just, yeah. So Java time.local datetime, that is a class, and then we have a, yeah, it could be my time extensions like this. That class, of course, does not exist yet. So we have to create that. So now we're going to create that. Add my time extension. Here I want to have a, how did we do that down here? Here is our extension. We say public static, blah, 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 objects, if null, why does it do? Oh, that is this all. Okay, so we actually just create the methods that we want to. So we will just create some kind of static method like this. And then of course we need to get a, yeah, we need to have an object, right? So we're getting something in right here. Here we have or. That means that we can actually use the object itself. That is, yeah, that's quite useful, right? So here we actually use the object, and then we, yeah, and then we can actually add another object if it is. If it's null. So that is that's quite cool. That is what we do right here. So we can actually add whatever we want. So in the first argument, we can actually say that should be the object itself. That is also quite cool. So so that's actually what we want, right? So we want something like this. We want to say public static, and then we want to say the object itself extends or is local datetime, right? It is a local datetime, so we don't need this actually. So we'll just say local datetime objects. So this is the local datetime that we want to work on. And what do we need to return? We want to return a local date. We want to return a string, so we want to format it, right? That's what we want to do right now. We want to delete all of this stuff right here, and then I'll just go copy, paste this code right here, and then we will say plus. So this is the code that we need. And we'll say that to Danish time. Okay, we forgot to give it a good name. I'll go back to my to Danish format. So now it says to Danish format right here, and we will do this. We'll save object, or it's not object, it's datetime. So it's like datetime. We'll say datetime.format like this, and we will return that stuff right there. Yeah. Maybe we will also add this is Danish format. Yeah, now it looks cool. That is pretty good. Let's just see right there. Yeah. Now we're getting there, right? So we have this one right here, public, yeah, static, blah, blah. Let us see if this works right here. Oh, it's actually static. It's because it's static, yeah. Well, what if we don't want static? Should it be static one? Doesn't need to be static. So we have this one right here. I don't think it needs to be static, actually. So let us go back to my extension right here. We don't want it to be static. So I'll say, because we have a date, and then we want to say to Danish formats, to Danish format. Or is that not possible? Public, not static, to Danish formats. How do they do that right here? Static, blah, blah. Is it only for statics? Is it only statics you can pass? Blah, 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 blah. Let us just keep it as static right now. I'll dig into that afterwards. So we will say this is just static. So public static to Danish, and then we will say we'll not take any argument. We'll just say create a new local. Yeah, we could actually. So we will say local datetime. Local datetime like this. So we could still take the argument, and then we could call. Then we could say local datetime. Then we do not want the now. Then we get an instance. So we want to say to Danish format. Local datetime is right there. Maybe we need to press build first or something. Cannot find this one right here. Okay. So you can make a class containing a bunch of public static methods which only take one parameter. These methods will extend the type of the first parameter as if there were instance method. Well, instance method extension using the extension method feature. So what did we forget? What did we forget? Extension class. Boom, boom, boom. Public static string, an input string right here. And there's an input string also there where we have, okay, to title. So that is actually itself that we get right there. Okay. Okay. So this is actually correct what we're doing right now. Oh, now it actually works. I had to build the project first. Okay, that was what happened. Okay, cool. I think we're on the right track right now. It was just when you're dealing with these, when dealing with Lombok, because the code is actually generated. The code is generated. So of course, yeah, okay, now it actually works. So I think I'm happy. Let me just check right here. Okay, so now the controller is right there. I'm actually calling local datetime now and then to Danish format right there. And then we had a test on that. Then let's go to the test, forecast test right there. So we'll go to the test, it's right here. Let us try to run the test and see if it actually works. Today, Sonny, this is Danish formatted. I'm so happy and proud of myself. I just extended the local datetime with Lombok. It's quite fun to play around with Lombok. It has a lot of cool features. And as you saw right here, there was a little bit confusing in the beginning. And there's also a setting. I just want to show you a setting. There's actually a pre-compiler. There's a pre-compiler annotation. It's named something like annotation. Compiler annotation processor. This one here, it needs to be enabled. If you haven't enabled this, then that will also give you a lot of trouble. And sometimes you have to press the build button for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, I know why. It's because the Lombok code has not been generated. That's why. But it should be generated automatically because it compiles automatically. And since this is something that happens pre-compile, then the code should be created. And every time I save, I actually I combine my codes because there are something called save actions, actions on save. Here we have reformat code, optimize imports, rearrange code. Yes, run code cleanup. No, we don't want that. And there's actually also a build project, but then we'll get just as slow as Eclipse. Yes, so I'm not enabling this build project right there. So yeah. I'm actually quite happy with what we actually did right there. So what did we do? We took one argument where we set, we actually took, we took the local datetime and then we actually set, then we created a new method named to Danish formats and then we actually used that right there. Let us do something a bit more funny. Because we also want to use an argument actually to Danish formats. Danish like to complain about something, right? So we also need to add a complaint, like what should we complain about? It's difficult to find something to complain about right now, actually. Let us just, what should we complain about? The winter, what should we have? The potatoes are growing too fast. Or maybe the dogs are eating the bread that we are feeding them too fast, or something like that. So now here we have two. Okay, so this is just an example here. And as you can see here, you can probably feel that I actually made this up on the fly. So I'll just go to my Danish format. So that means now I need to take an argument. Now I need to take my extension method. Let me just find my extension method. It's right there. So now I need to take another argument. The first argument, the first parameter we give, is the itself, so that is the instance, and then the second one is now the complaint. So here we have the string complaints like this. So we get the text, this is Danish formatted, and then we get a cool complaint after that. New line, and give me the complaints. Like this, complaint. Oh, that was need to be outside. That was where I wanted it, and that's actually some cool formats. We need to go. One day I would like to show all the number formats we have on the Java text right here. We also have we have a lot of cool formats right there. That's also something as which formaters do we have? I'll dig into that. I'll prepare that a bit more for another time. But let us try now. So now we are we have the complaint and we have the local datetime. And let us look at the test right here. We can just run it again. Yes. Sunny, this is Danish formatted. Get the local datetime, and then the potatoes are growing too fast. So that's pretty cool. We can add, the first parameter, the first argument is is the instance itself. And then the second one is whatever we give them right here. So the difference between an argument and a parameter, the argument is what we actually send right here, and the parameter is actually what we define. It's just so this is an argument because that's what I'm sending. The parameter is what we define. That is what we define in here in the method signature. So we have arguments and parameters. Maybe I'm actually mixing them up right now. Parameter versus argument. I always forget the difference actually. So what is that? Stack Overflow. What does it say? Argument is the value reference being passed in. Yeah, so I actually said it wrong. I said it right. Parameter is the receiving variable used in the function block. Yes, I said it totally right. We have the parameters up here, and those are the arguments that we actually pass right there. I was totally right as usual, of course. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great evening. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye bye.